All right, we're with Jessica Toll today, and we're talking about natural soap.
Yes.
I like that. You know what I find, and people are going to call me, you know, all kinds of names, but the older I get, all my buddies at work are going to make fun of me, but any kind of chemicals, and I'm not on my soapbox.
Right.
I'm not trying to say you should do this, but this is a choice for me.
Right.
And I think as we get older, I remember I had a professor who told me, he said, I'm not going to put anything on my body, such as deodorants, things like that, unless I could put it in my mouth and eat it. And that's stuck in my head.
Right.
I'm not eating your soap.
You could.
You could.
You could.
After the lie gets out. We'll talk about that later.
Right.
But you know what? We're at Kentucky Soaps and Such,
yes,
here in Stanford, beautiful little town. We're going to talk about how you go through this process to make goat's milk soap.
Right.
Everything's natural.
Yep.
No nasty, weird perfumes
Right.
that have letters,
That you can't
26
read.
letters exactly.
That's right.
I like that. Tell me how you start. How do you start this whole process? Give us kind of an overview.
Our soap is basically made up of very simple ingredients that you can, when you read the box, you can pronounce them. That's palm, olive, and coconut oil. And then you're going to see a rainwater and sodium hydroxide, which is lye.
You collect your own rainwater
We
right
do.
here.
Right out back here. And the third part is our fresh goat's milk that we get locally.
Which is right here.
Yep, from our local, we have a local farmer here that brings it to us.
All right, I'm going to stand out of the way and let you do your thing.
So now I'm going to be taking our three main oils, the palm, olive, and coconut oil, and basically it goes into this big pot, and how I know that I've got enough is it's on a scale. So it's just weighed. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll show you that. So this is our tea tree.
That's the oil?
Yeah, we
Let me
use.
smell it again.
Okay. Yeah, and that's 26 ounces of the essential oils go into the soap. All of our soap is good for dry skin, better than what any, commercial soap would be, just because it's made without detergent,
Right.
and that's huge. Detergent will dry you completely out. But the tea tree, like I said, it's more of a drying, so it's good for more oily skin. Yeah. So I've got my oil in there, and I'm just gonna stir that for a few more minutes.
Are we getting close?
Yeah, we're gonna add the milk now.
Then you say that this is fairly fatty.
Yeah,
The goat's milk is.
that is one of the reasons that you use the goat's milk. Is just has a higher fat content, so that just equals more moisturizing.
Looks like custard.
All right, so it's definitely ready to pour up.
And you say this makes how many? 300?
350.
350.
Yeah, it is kind of the consistency of pancake batter, cake batter. But yeah, so this is ready, and I'm gonna pour it in here.
You've got 2 of your molds ready to go into the refrigeration unit for 4 to 5 days.
Yeah, we'll cut, today's Thursday, we'll cut this soap next Tuesday.
And then it'll be sufficiently molded and into that firm enough form to cut it.
Right.
Let's go cut some.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now look, this is your baby. This is a beautiful piece of soap.
Yeah.
Smells good, feels like soap.
Yeah.
So at this point, you just cut it. It's not done. You still have to sit at the drying room.
Right. So it's basically just on a platform, and I'm going to move this platform underneath the cutter. The cutter is not hot or sharp. I think a lot of people think that it's got to be hot to melt through it,
So
or
when you
sharp.
said cheese, it's like a cheese
Yeah,
cutter,
it's like
basically.
Velveeta, just like a Velveeta kind of blend.
You ready?
Yeah, so I've just basically put this into place, and you kind of secure them in there. And then this is all, it's it's used on air, so it's just an air compressor cutter. You'll see, it just barely.
Wow. What do you do with the little scraps that come off the side?
We keep them. Just kind of let them
For snack.
put them on a tray and let them dry out. We'll give away samples, give people little
That's a good idea.
pieces. Yeah. So anyway, this is the first cut. So that's and there's 2 cuts.
So next step, you cut it sideways, then boom, you've got bars.
Yep. We just carefully place them on here, a little bit apart, so they get plenty of air in between them, and that goes into our the drying room.
How long?
It's 30 to 45 days. We like to leave them. I mean, you can definitely leave it in there longer. There's no expiration on soap.
So the longest part of your process is the drying process.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then once it's done and out and ready, it goes over to the packaging table where
Yeah.
you just box it up by hand, I guess.
Right,
So everything
yeah.
here is done by hand. There you have it.
Yep.
You know, fairly simple process, but I'm sure it's an old tradition. I'm sure that you've learned these things from different people. But for so long, I would go buy everything off the shelf, not even reading the label, whether it was meat, whether it was canned vegetables. You just don't know.
Right.
We have the opportunity to know now.
Right.
And now we know what you do, and I want to thank you very much for having us out.
Thank you.